on with our customizing of these character extensions here. Let's concentrate on the skateboard for a moment. What I'm going to do is grab a handle and toss it on there. And don't really like where that's drawing, so I'll just quickly change those values there. And okay, that's a little cooler for us. So we've got a handle on our skateboard. I'll just add a name to it just for kicks here. There it is, skateboard. Maybe we're going to start adding a lot of customizing and a lot of handles to this rig, and these sort of nodes might be getting in the way. So what I'm going to do is change this one up, and I'm just going to tell software, okay, don't draw that 2D mode. Let's try this 3D one. So you've noticed they've given us a cube by default. We could take a hard cross or a sphere, your choice. In this case, I'm going to take a cube, I'm going to wire shade it, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me that I'm controlling the skateboard with that, so maybe I'm going to change its size. Okay, cool. So now, if I want to grab this skateboard, it's easy for me to grab from, anywhere in the, no matter where he is, upside down, whatnot. Okay, so at this point, what I want to do is also introduce the changes in how the floor contacts work. So in the past, floor contacts would only take into account the translational value of the floor. Now they take into account the orientation. So what I want to do in this case is I'm going to make this floor part of my skateboard handle. So wherever that handle goes, the skateboard and the floors are going to go with it, and we'll have a rig that we can use for him skateboarding. So let's find those two floor planes. There they are. And I'm just going to drag those onto our handle and make sure that they follow everywhere that handle goes. So now when I want to move my skateboard the way it goes, let's see what happens in rotation as well. So now all of a sudden that floor plane is working with orientation. So that might be a cool rig to help us out with this particular case. Okay, so what I'm going to want to keyframe with these character extensions, and we've already got our skateboard in there, but we didn't have the floor plane part of that when we made it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that those are going to receive keys as well when I'm in full body mode, etc. So I'm just going to drop those onto our skateboard extension, and that way we can start working with our guy here. So let's go into full body mode here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set, let's get on layer 1 here. There we go. So I'm just going to set a couple keys. I'll set one there as well. So I'm just keying no change, bracketing this guy. And then let's put him into a pose. Maybe I'll just, put him in some sort of skateboard maneuver here. Okay, so whatever. Maybe we like that. That's happening for us. Let's just key full body here again. So now you've noticed that it set keys on our floor plane and our skateboard as well as our character rig. So this should help speed your workflow when keyframing with, sort of rigs that are unusual, with characters with wings, props, forearms, whatever the case may be. Let's important to point out the ability to use the pose control now with these extra character extensions. So if I go to pose control, I just make a pose based off what's happening there. So I go to another part of the scene and say, oh, I want to do that again. I just paste my pose in, and away it goes. And it's taking into account everything else in there. So this is great. Just to make sure that when you are saving out these poses, it doesn't do you a lot of good to save out, the character animation without the skateboard, and you have to rekey that in. Or if he had some sort of facial expression that maybe goes along with it. Whatever you have thrown into those extensions, it's going to save that for you. The other thing that goes along with these character extensions is the ability to save out your animation. We can go up here under File, Save Character Animation. I'm not going to save it right now. It's not terribly exciting, but we can load it back in. Pick one arbitrarily so we get our dialog box up here. And we've got some new options. In this case, it's defaulting to copy. That would be fine with this particular case because we're saved out animation of this character and we're putting it back on the exact same guy. So copying would be what we would want there. But we may want to bring in this animation and put it on another character we have, and in that case we would have to retarget it. So we can have it assign that animation as a character input and work with our retargeting to copy what we have going on there onto the new guy. If the new guy doesn't have a skateboard or wings or whatnot, and that was important to us, we could turn on copy missing character extensions, and that's going to bring those in with you. Okay. You may have noticed that a little red save button has popped up here in our upper right-hand corner. We look at the options on this one. We've got a snooze, turn off, and preferences. Snooze just makes it go away until the needs of your preferences are met again. Turning off, obviously, it's gone for good. But let's look at preferences. So how we've had it set up here is to remind us after 5 minutes or after one operation, and you can turn on to remind you when both of those conditions are met. Reminding after one operation probably doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just going to come up all the time. So maybe we're going to do, let's do 10 minutes and 10 operations. The other options you have with the save are the ability to save up backup files. I can point that to a specific path, or I can just leave that off, and it's just going to make a new folder where it found the file and put your backup files in there. And you can just let it know how many you need to feel comfortable. Get rid of that. And before I sign off here, I just wanted to point out the new constraints that they've added in MotionBuilder 7. Let's have a look. Aim constraint and single chain IK. You my users are going to recognize those right away. Now these constraints will be able to go back and forth to Maya, so that should speed your workflow in both directions. And that's about it for me for today. Hope you enjoy the new features in MotionBuilder 7, and I'll be